my stuff, man. I have a system. People talk if I'm drinking this up. I know.
Yeah, you can.
Huh?
You can.
Then I will just lean off. Hmm?
I said
I think I have this one down here now. Hmm?
yeah, that's the request.
We cry for peace. Africa. Africa, 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 yeah. Mama Africa, we cry for peace. Africa. It's not letting us wave today.
It doesn't want us to wait.
No.
Obahima, it's the same. Minya Baba, okay. You saw who you want. Can you sing that music?
Not today.
Not today. No.
You're lucky I can talk, let alone anything else at this point.
I know. Yes, I know.
You don't know because you never stop talking.
I know.
Even you dying, you will be talking like this.
Oh, my first, even if the day that my first, I won't stop talking.
Oh, I know.
No,
You don't have to tell me I live with you.
No. But before I don't talk. Before I was quiet, but people started annoying me a lot. Then I started talking, and that is it. Now I become addicted.
Mama Africa, we cry for peace. Africa. Whose temper do you think that is?
Amazing.
I thought you were going to say not mine, and I was going to call you out on that one big
I will
time.
be there. One share video no my na. Yensia adie kakra.
Mr. Bearco,
What is that thing?
it's her ABCs. It'll stop. It's only one letter. Stop.
What the baby and share my abusia for one share video no my na yensia bibi about Africa. Yensia bibi kakra. Now take it there.
She's just doing it to annoy you.
Wow, the baby and me pacho. Me de biano. My this ready and me de took a year tea for any me say. Oba, ye nipa mienu ni ebenya kra na nipa mienu na share my because video bi a wa share no ye video bi a wa share no platforms no ama yenya enkrofo different kind of people omaba etimi kire yade etimi di more research de dey e de
Where did you
brain
get that?
Africa mum yensua de Africa and nay for Africa Africa wa beba bia no wa share my why what baby abo more than a share my Miss Row.
Where did you get it?
Mr. Robert Aquaba, Nyako my brother Aquaba, me bra Abraham, Abraham, my brother, I salute you, brother, I salute you, Nana Beko, I salute you, my brother, Mr. Mumien Maxwell, I salute you, I salute you. Nana be akwasi be kwe. Me chia neza na kua oba hema me chia mu nyina. Me chia obi biara wa ba bia me sre wo ba no wa hye yensua ade kakra efri ya bibi mamu ye ka eye the continent of Africa. It's not about Ghana, it's not about Nigeria. Yeah, where you yala obano or you be or take the tradition no edi ye adwuma kese ne nnwuma a obo nyina no or the tradition sem na eden eka ediko ti menua aye Robert me ho ye pa Robert me ho ye pa oba de enka mo ho enti no the program have been like we don't want to talk about only Ghana, we talk about Africa, and Africa is one, our continent is one. It's just our colonials that put a border between Ghana, Togo, Mali, Benin, Cameroon, Senegal, whatever. It was one. It was one continent.
And you know, it was done with purpose, huh?
Yeah, it was done.
That separation was absolutely done with purpose, because then they've separated. You've taken the continent of Africa, and they separate and put all of these borders and make these tiny little nations, and then they let those nations also go onto the world stage. And what's this, like barter? I say barter, I can't think of the actual English word. For resources. So you will have some small country, like let's say one of the small African continents, maybe Congo, like Togo, or something like maybe Togo, they have maybe 20 million people, or even some of the even smaller ones. No, queer, thank you. The smaller ones that maybe only have 1 million, and then they put them and make them go toe to toe, head to head with China, who have billions of people. So you have this small African nation and their leaders sitting there with China and their billions of people and their very powerful leaders, and they say, you will give us all your resources or else. What are you going to do as a small nation put up against China for resources, for free trade agreements, import, export, and you are going for negotiations with a powerhouse. So by doing that, they keep the African countries squashed with no options. Because if you say no to a powerhouse like China, what happens? That's why you see China in, if we say Ghana, but that's why you see that stuff happening, and that's why the borders were there.
So Obayas and Famedasi. Mr. Nyapon, I was Togo and Guinea, yes, no correct. We are going to study about a year Africa. And they said the continuation or still going now, me no kasan still now course na na me de me wa adwumam and me hu say me phone me phone na send me message, me phone sending me message na me kohwe yes say $800 den
I want $800
na dia ne ba ya enam obai because of me researches are all yenti no wakwa akoto Apple say Apple one e de abesi ho e na osua ade akwasi broni no obroni ba no o se sua ade enti yenya bibifo se bi mpredua samano da fom adesua bebre no ye de enka ya yi ho enti se obi nya akwanya bi na oye research kakra na bia o kan wanka anwie kura na ba bi oduru ye no na won so watoa so na won so wakwa akotoa so na watimam enso educate ho na before say be sha ase no medamu nyina mase na obo ade enkam ho CSF ye still na ye ekọ CSF na still na ye eden ye ekọ CSF still we are moving forward. Every good heart person need to be a CSF member. So CSF ye betia ye bra Abraham Bemushe ene ye wu the people kochi se to ai ye betia obi a oka CSF fo no nyina yen focus yen focus na yen yeden yen koye nim because ye say aboa chichide odin kakra na nso obedru nsuo naja aboa achichide odin kakra na nso obedru nsuo naja etimi srem CSF fo mo a munyamfa kakra nkoye no mommo modena momien support movement no movement na nyina ye dia nyina in the ask yourself if CSF become the way penifo do omu dream na yeden akwakodru na me free say your entire generation will come and enjoy it. They will come and enjoy it. So please, anybody who have not yet put something small. So what I say, bibi kakra, bibi kakra. Na pe bibi kakra na eden, ne fa kɔ na ye nyina ye moaboa. Na CSF kuo no entimi ngina baabi yie because eye me no mienu. Ade bi a ye hunu nti ene ye se ye den, ye donate. Ade bi a me no mienu ahunu nti ene ye se ye den, ye donate. Eye bibi ene twe wadwen ede ye den ekɔ CSF so. Na twe wadwen kɔ ye no, don't be so selfish. Once try say obeye bibi na wachiri manso aye den ababedi so mfaso. Ti CSF fo Mommy and Koso, na yangejen toboa, na yamfamwa, medamase. Na ene topic, ye bekasa about Benin, the Francophones, the Francophones countries that are still in their same, yet the colonial masters in some. Now, ask yourself, have anybody said about why Ghanaians are still speaking English? Me pacho, Obia Osheno, Uncle Sechi, no one say, why Ghanaians or Ghana, Africa Ghana, Yekurum Ghana, why are we still speaking English? That means when these masters, so omu emkrofuwe, omu ba ukromu, na omu kwa, omu jawade, saadye no omu bejaon, omu kasa, ana omu sika, enu untimin ja, untimin enyeden, enyuhun frim. Enti, wo shemi ya utie mi no, type of phone no so, ne bisa ho questions say, why is it Ghana we still speaking English? Why? Because we have our language. But why is it still now English is the one dominating in Ghana? If you don't go to school, if you don't speak English, you can't get a job to do in Ghana. If you can't speak English, you can't get a job to do in Ghana. So yen nyina yesua ade na ya heden ye de akoye nim. Sister Faustina medawase any support wa futuo ene wo ya ade oba medawase bebre mi nua ba obo ade enye den enka ho eti ne no ye besua no ma bebre wo Africa die na ekoso wa Africa yeti ho yesi ye Africans ye critical thinkers ye I'm proud to be Africans. But have you read about Africa? No, you don't know anything about Africa. You only know you are African. We a black man, so you are from Africa. No, you need to do more research about Africa. Etino, etiefo, Nash, why? Sao, Ohusi has started to also be shy. So come greet some people and talk some more. Come, Nash.
Hi. He always runs away. I think he does it on purpose so that he's prepping me for when he's not here and I can go by myself. But greetings to everybody here, and Faustina, Nanakuya, my queens, thank you so much for all the love and support. I'm very, very grateful. If you want to visit and take Nashira for a week or two, I'll be even more grateful. Yeah, she's a worry. So the topic that we were to cover today, we're talking about the continuation of colonization pact that was signed by 14 countries as a ruse, really, for independence. So in order for them to gain their independence, they had to sign this particular pact. And that pact, the name of that is actually the continuation of colonization. So we were going to...
Yeah, just sit more so... You will talk more.
Yeah, so that was basically what we were going to cover, and what was actually in it. So there's 11 conditions that are in that continuation of colonization.
I know you not feel well, but at least you need to talk because people need to listen. So I know you don't feel well. Obaya Santuani home fan, but chinchina obechra ne home fan, but still Africa don't obechra Uya ne hia enye yie. What just chinchina yes, so ma yesua bibi na yetimi di boy bra. So I know you not feel well, but you try to make it a bit so that people can hear you.
And as Abu was talking about English being left over from the colonizers in Ghana, the same thing you will see in a lot of the French colonies or the ex-French colonies is that they are still, after 57, 58 odd years, still speaking French, teaching French. A lot of France and French products and byproducts that are left behind in those nations, and we're going to be covering essentially the reasons why that is and why this independence is not true, it's not real.
Yeah, so we don't have independence.
No. Yeah. And we covered that before, but this one I wasn't actually aware of this until recently, and this thing just blew my mind apart when I realized Meroasi Faustina, thank you. When I realized that this thing was an actual thing and I started reading more about it, I was so phenomenally dumbfounded and shocked that in 2019 this is still a thing, right? So before we get into those 11 things, I'll strip it back a little bit and give a little bit of the history and a little bit of what I've managed to learn.
Yep.
With regards to
Maybe
this.
If you can hear us, you let
If
us
you
know.
can't
Yeah,
hear me,
because
just let me know.
I
I'm
think
trying.
today the motion is too low.
You know what?
The motion is too low.
We're not all extremely loud like you. Okay, you were saying like you have a megaphone strapped to your head. So France, right? So France has been holding the national reserves of 14 African countries since 1961.
So in 1961, 14 African countries.
Yes.
Which is still in this.
It's 58 years.
58 years, and they are still in the same.
Well, that's when they gained their
independence.
Their fake independence.
Yeah, they say independence.
But it came with conditions, and that was that pact that they had to sign, and the pact is literally called the Continuation of Colonization Pact.
So that pact that they like.
Yes. So in order to get independence, you had to sign a pact that is called the Continuation of Colonization. So what freedom and independence did you get? That's like Mr. Hansen.
Mr. Hansen, what for fast?
Mr. Hansen. You say you don't want me to talk, right?
No.
Oh, message me. I will tell you true. Last night, 7:00 in the morning. You annoying person.
Oh, all right.
So, essentially, that's like, say you buy a house, right? You say you think you own the house, and then you sign an agreement with the house because you've paid all of the money. Now you own the house, and the bank makes you sign an agreement that says the continuation of the ownership of your house by the bank.
Oh,
that is what this.
So that means we didn't get that freedom that we signed for.
No.
So we signed for just
no.
No,
and,
we are going.
And we talk a lot about the African leaders don't help us. The African leaders are corrupt. But what I will touch on here today will also give you a little bit of an insight into perhaps why they do what they do.
So
and why, everyone's like, they only want to help the white nations. They only want, but some of the stuff that I have learnt doing this made me think a little bit like, shit. I can kind of see why maybe they'd be a little bit frightened to do stuff.
Yeah, so now...
But that being said, it's now 2019,
yes,
so it wouldn't be the same as it was back then. So that also has to have that relevance.
Yeah, but now we sign for them and we... So the leaders, it's not like they don't want to do it. But because of some rules and regulations, some of them...
Not necessarily I will tell you, it's not necessarily the rules and regulations, but more the consequences that their previous leaders have faced. And not just that, but also the benefits that they get from it too is also part of it, right?
Yeah.
All right. So France has been holding the national reserves of 14 African countries since 1961. So we're talking Benin. Benin, Burkina Faso, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Ivory Coast, Mali, Niger, Senegal, Togo, Cameroon, Central African Republic, Chad, Congo Brazzaville, Equatorial Guinea, and Gabon.
That means all the French-speaking countries. That means all the French-speaking countries. Yes, all the French-speaking countries. They are.
Nashira, what is wrong?
Before she wasn't like this.
No, she was quite happy.
She was quiet. The moment we start this, I war. Now we were ninia. No, I saw the catcher or said, "Woo, nyame papa." Come in. What do you want, babe? Just continue so that people. Yeah.
All right, so we'll go.
Just take because you are now.
I get you.
So you just continue.
Well, who will sit here and interrupt me?
No, you just read and I will come because the way she's doing, I can't do anything.
So when Sékou Touré of Guinea decided, I'm going to take it back a little bit before I get into those 11 conditions. But When Sekou Touré of Guinea decided in 1958 that he wanted to get out of the French colonial empire and opted for the country's independence, the French colonial elite in Paris got so furious, and in an act of fury, a rage, the French administration in Guinea destroyed everything in the country.
No, so you go back again. Because people are listening and people want to know about what we are addressing.
So I'm going back to where?
Yeah, where you start. You say in where and
when Sekou Touré of Guinea, he decided in 1958 to get out of French colonial empire and opted for the country independence.
So he decided to get out from this colonial power so that the country can get independence. Yeah.
But when the French colonial elite in Paris found out about it,
so those who are in Paris, not those who are in Equatorial Guinea, those who are in Paris.
Well, the ones in Paris found out about it. Now they are enraged and angry, and so they've given message because how do you think they found out about it? They found out about it from the ones that were there, right? So they got so furious and angry that the French administration in Guinea, so the ones that are in Guinea, destroyed everything in the country, which represented what they called the benefits of French colonization. So that means anything that they thought was in Guinea that was a benefit to Guinea from the French, they destroyed.
So when they find out that they want to go out from these colonial masters, then they say, okay, if you people want to go out, then
is what we're going
everything
to do.
that we put there, we need to destroy them.
Yes.
Not that?
Yes. So
black man, we don't want to learn.
3,000 French...
Same like me.
That's not true.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. Don't say that about yourself. 3,000 French left the country, taking all their property and destroying anything. They took all of their property, right? And then they destroyed anything that they couldn't actually physically move. So something they can't pick up with their hands and carry away with them, anything that was fixed to the ground.
Yeah, same like, okay, they build a church.
Pick up or the car. They can't take the building.
Any metal stuff, they think they can't remove it.
So the 3,000 left the country. They took all of their property and then they left destroying anything that which could not be moved. So we're talking about schools, nurseries, public administration buildings were crumbled.
Which is Equatorial Guinea.
No, this one, now you've got me confused. Guinea, yes.
Yeah, Guinea, yes.
So anything that couldn't be moved. Schools, nurseries, public administration buildings were crumbled. Cars, books, medicine, research institute instruments, tractors, so you're farming, were crushed and sabotaged. Horses and cows in the farms were killed. And food in the warehouses were burned or poisoned.
So they just wipe all the country. Anything that they put it there, they wipe everything off. Yes, sir.
Yes.
They just destroy everything.
Mr. Hesse said to put concrete in the sewage. There wasn't anything that they left untouched. Now the purpose of this act,
Africa.
The purpose of this was to send a clear message to all the other colonies that the consequences of rejecting France would be high. Right?
South France, this France country, the France, all France for idea African France. That France people, what they have done to Africa, the damage that these France people have done to Africa. Sometimes I wonder if some idea African is even sad even to say you want to even go to France. Even it's very sad that even you can go to France and they won't. I think every black man need to enter France and they give him a citizenship because all your sweat is now building the nation or the country, the country, France.
Or the nation. On that yet. So slowly, the fear of that act in Guinea spreads through the African elite. So those who are, the leaders of the other...
So because of they say, okay, this is what we have done to Equatorial Guinea, and if anybody, this is an example for
this
all of you,
and
if you too try to do this, this is what will happen to you too. So it gives them fears.
Yes. So slowly the fear spreads throughout the African elite and the countries, and so nobody after the Guinea events ever found the courage to follow that example of Sekou Touré. And that man, he had a slogan, right? Now his slogan was, "We prefer freedom in poverty to opulence in slavery." Now I would rather be free and poor than rich and
be in the slavery. So this is the leader who wanted these people to go out from this colonies, not that.
Yes.
And that is her slogan. Like instead of say, instead of like,
I would rather be poor and free than rich and a slave, than a rich slave, essentially. So, and you see, so nobody wanted to go about it in the same way that this man went about it because of the consequences of what happened, not just to him, but to the country and the people.
Because this is about Africa, and if we want to take our Africa back, this is how we have to learn, we have to study, so that we can get the tricks, we can know how we can love ourselves. Because to bring Africa back again is all about unity. It's how we can also know how they do their thing, so that we too can use another tactics. Like time I me ball no, ye ko park so ne ye ni ebia, ye ni me fan say ye ni another team no kwa ko a ye di kan hwe omo last match a omo ye den omo boboye omo previous matches omo boboye, then we sit down and we see how we can also play our card so that we can get the victory. It is ye per se ye fa Africa no na ye hunu de wa Africa esu, Africa mani hunu, Africa rehwo na se ye per se Africa no timi ba be ye enye me no mienu o, but e bia de ye ebetima ama ye entire generation no omo nso no nkwala no ana ye da ache nkwala no e bia omo so betima ye den asua bibia ye den afrim etimi serew wo ha bo modi na wo de share maye na ye nkɔ ye nim. Because see ano yen viewers ne de ni say mo amu wo sisi amo na mo ye yadofo, mo amu wo sisi amo na mo ye yadofo, wo ye video na enko ba bia, but that doesn't stop us to do that videos. This doesn't stop us to do the videos. We need to do something that can help our country, our continent, Africa. Africa are suffering. Africa, we are suffering. Our leaders, they have some fears in them, because when you try to do something that will help the nation or the continent Africa, then you get killed. And this is what people don't want us to say, but we will make that teaching. Madam say, what will be on but more than a share my
So we move then to now. I've gotten pictures. And now I'm concerned that Google might have shuffled them. So if I've got the wrong picture for the wrong person, I apologize. But who we have here, this is Sylvanus Olympio. Now, this is the first president of the Republic of Togo.
So maybe people can be hearing, people will hear this name. People will hear this name, people will hear that, but they don't know. I have heard this name before, but I don't know who is that. So this is the first, who is
the first president of the Republic of Togo.
So this is the first president of the Republic of Togo.
Sylvanus Olympio. Okay. So this guy, he wanted to find, found a middle ground, right? So he found a middle ground solution with the French, because he didn't want his country to continue to be a French dominion, so therefore he refused to sign the Colonization Continuation Pact.
So he refused to sign
that. He refused to sign it, but he agreed to pay an annual. You hear that? That means every year. An annual debt to France for the so-called benefits. Listen, for the so-called benefits Togo got from French colonization. So rather than sign that pact, he agreed to pay an annual debt to France for the benefits that Togo have received from French colonization.
So, if he refused to sign that document...
No, he did refuse. Rather he agreed to pay.
Okay, so he refused to sign that document. And now, what they have to do is he have to pay every annually. Not that annual. What can I say? Annual. Okay. Match line. So we refuse to in any say Sadia annual leave na. Yes, wedding. Yes, we cheer for every year. Sika yes Togo cheer. Togo krone that way. What's that one cheer sika now? Togo krone that way.
It was the only way. It was the only condition that France were prepared to accept, for them to give them that and to leave the country without destroying anything. You get me? So that was the only...
So if they will pay that money, then they won't destroy anything like they did to Equatorial Guinea.
You either pay this or we will leave and destroy everything like we did Guinea. Now, the problem then with this annual debt, right? So the amount was estimated by France, right? So the French have decided, oh, you've got this, you've got this, you've got this. So this is the debt that you will give us. You will pay us this annually. If not, we will come back and we will destroy your shit. So the amount estimated by France was so big that the reimbursement for the so-called colonial debt was close to 40% of the country's budget. 40% of the country's annual budget is what France wanted them to pay.
From Togo? From Togo or from where?
Togo, yes.
Are you not feeling well?
No.
We can cut the video in because...
I don't believe you.
Yeah, we can cut it. Hey, did we get paid?
As far as I did all of this today...
yeah, if you don't feel well, we can cut it. Yeah.
So the financial
situation... I can't let you sit down and this and somebody will come there even and even insult you.
Help me please. He doesn't stop.
No, not about that. If you not feel well, you need to stop and rest.
Let me talk. Huh?
Okay.
Thank you.
But then I don't...
Can you let me talk?
Okay, if not, we will fight.
Yeah, you will see something today. So the financial situation, so as I say, right, so 40% of the country's budget is what France expected them to pay for what they would call the profit of the colonization of Togo by France.
So Togo have to pay. Now,
if not, France will destroy the country.
If you have seen that country that they said they should pay that kind of money, you will weep, you will cry. Togo is like, it's not big, small country. Small country, they have nothing.
And France want half of their
and when what they get this, so they pay all this again for the France president. So Africa, we are building the nation, the country France.
The debt was being paid to France. The debt was being paid to France as an annual debt for the benefit of the colonized, of what would be left for the colonization of buildings and whatever that France built, right? So the financial situation of the newly independent Togo was so unstable. So in order to get out of that situation, Olympio decided to get out of the French colonial money. Now, the franc for French African colonies. So you know that the France have their own dollars in those.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not the same as the euro.
No.
So he wanted to get out of that. So he wanted to get out of that and issue the country their own currency. Right. So on January 13 in 1963, 3 days after Olympia started printing, so he had gone through with all of this and now he started printing the country's own money. She started printing, so 3 days after he started printing his country's own currency, a squad of illiterate soldiers backed by France, right? So he's paid the debt. He's paid the debt and it's an annual debt. They're now newly independent. However, it's such a financial strain on the country that in order to get out from that, he decides they're going to have their own currency. So 3 days after he started printing
his own money for paying all this thing, and now he wants to print he's now going to make his own money for Togo money.
Right.
Like we have the CD for Ghana.
Yes. So 3 days after they started printing that money, a squad of illiterate soldiers, backed by France, killed the first elected president of the newly independent Africa.
You see, all this thing that you are reading now make me to remember this woman that they sacked her from, what is the name? That woman that they sacked her, he was African, whatever. Donald Trump sacked him. Or who is that?
I don't know if he sacked her. She was
she was quit or something
for Ghana. She was a Ghanaian lady. And this one you need to get my dad to sit here. He had said to that, basically Trump said to her, go back to Africa. So she did, and she ripped him to shit while she was there.
He was not that.
She was a representative.
Yes, she was the one that telling the secret about the front. The one I think I screenshot for you.
No, that's somebody different.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that lady is the because this document I learned about it a little while ago. So I had done a little bit of reading, and then you found the video of that doctor, and somebody here mentioned the name already, and it's gone from my head. But she was fired from the African Union for giving that speech. And you will see why when you realise the kickbacks that the actual presidents of these supposed 14 individual independent French colonies, they get so many benefits from France for continuing that pact, that by her speaking out, now they're like, shit, so we're not going to get our kickbacks, we're not going to get our luxurious lifestyle. So she was sacked from the African Union.
Okay, yeah, so let's continue the topic.
Okay, so Olympio was killed by an ex-French Foreign Legionnaire army sergeant who supposedly received a bounty of $612
So
for the hit.
So there is a France people who organized for killing this guy or what?
Yes, a squad of illiterate soldiers backed by France went in and
to kill this man who want to print his own money.
Yes.
While he have already paid your paying your debt, paying whatever
Yes.
you want him to pay, and now he want to have his freedom. Then they come and kill him again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he was killed, and as I said, it was a squad of soldiers backed by France, and the army sergeant Etienne Gassenby was the army sergeant who actually fired that shot, and because he killed him, so he's fulfilled that hit job. He received $612 from the local French embassy for killing Olympio.
Oh, for killing the
Yes.
Africa.
So then we move on to June 30, 1962. Did I get this guy's picture? Oh God, I'm gonna have to go through and you interrupt and I'll find it. So
you see, the problem of we Africans is something that we need to think so much. If Africa don't come and unite, if we think, okay, this problem is for Togo, so Ghana, we are not part of it. If this one is for Nigeria, so Togo, we are not part of it. If this one happening here, so we are not part of it. Mamenka Samunchiro, go and see how Togo people carry their babies. Go and see how Nigeria people carry their babies. Go and see Niger. Go and see Somalia, the way they carry their babies. It's the same thing.
Go to the villages and see how the women are preparing
it's the same food. It's the same thing in Ghana. So Togo problem is our problem.
Yes.
And yet give me problem, a problem.
So, because the borders weren't put there by the Africans, they were put there by the white man to keep the African countries small. That's why. So Africa is Africa. It's not about individual. Yes, there's individual countries, but those individual countries are bordered by borders that were given to you by the white man
Africa don't need
to
a
keep
border.
you poor.
Yes, Africa don't need a border.
So, if we jump to this gentleman here, this is. This is.
Don't let it fall down.
Yes, boss. Modibo Keita. So this is the first president of the Republic of Mali.
Let me say this. See, or you can see the face. See the tradition. See the tribal tradition. See the tradition. See all the face. You can see all the marks. This is how, now we don't say we should go and cut our face and do this, but this one wasn't like just cut it. It was represented by something. If you see people who have this, you know exactly where they're from.
Yes.
You know these people are from, like me, Mampurisi, we have, yes, Mampurisi people, we have something, like a mark. This one here is a soccer. I get this cut from soccer.
Yeah,
but this one, this one here is my tribal mark. Mampurisi, sani etete but today, we have just cut everything off. Because somebody's problem is not our problem. Somebody's problem is not our problem. And that is what is killing Africa. Now we are talking about something that can help Africa.
Abraham Akwaba, thank you.
Mr. Abraham Akwaba.
Not much can get him to stop talking, but you did it.
Yes, Mr. Abraham Akwaba. So Africa problem is problem for all of us. Don't sit in Ghana and see the problem of Togo and tell Togo problem is not for both from Ghanaians. See what is going on when African leader, any African leader who want to build the country, they kill him.
Nana Shady is here with Sankofa's profile.
Nana Shade.
I don't know what we're going to do with you. If you land in this country, I don't know who I'm collecting from the airport. I don't know what you look like. I don't know anything.
Yeah. So let me come a bit and you can continue. So Africa problem is not for only one country. Africa problem is for the whole black people. The problem that Nigeria is facing, Ghanaians, we should sit down and also feel the same because
ye nyina ne yatim so wo ba any leader Thomas Sankara ne yakunu we ye obeba Kwame Nkrumah kro yakunu kwam nipa a wonya ne tiri mu ye sa eye Gaddafi Mugabe who are obey what they say you want to rise up and do something for the country no makum. So Africa problem is very is a idea say yan kan ye trambom ni anye unite ni trans I'm proud to be African. I'm proud to be African. What have you learned about Africa? Obaya Santo Akinkan.
So on June 30, 1962, the gentleman whose picture I had up just before, Modibo Keita, he was the first president of the Republic of Mali. Now, he decided to withdraw from the French colonial currency also, same as this Togo president, which was imposed on 12 newly independent African countries. For the Malian president, who he was leaning more towards a socialist economy, it was quite clear to him, like he wasn't stupid, it was clear to him that the colonization continuation pact with France was a trap. And it was a burden for the country's development. So he's seen that this thing is not going to be good for our country and he wanted out. Right. So, and that was in 1962. So he's then done whatever he's had to do in the 7 years that he was there. So it comes 1968, just like Olympio before him, Keita was the victim of a coup, also carried out by another ex-French foreign legionnaire, the Lieutenant Moussa Karo.
Tommy Lee said, brother, the problem is the black man's brain is sick. And correct. That is, you are right. In some ways, you are right in some ways. Because the problem of black man thinks that somebody's problem is not somebody's problem. So what I say, when I have a problem, that means it's not your problem. No, it has to be your problem. Because you said the what she has here pen or who so be a shas and then yema again, asheno. And nothing or bad time or who's a kwala or be back extra from petal. Oh, erratic. Because what first I yaw no pen. But the black man free say, or no dear, a ya woo asem, and yan asem. A ya minian a 1 year migration problem. And a mimi say din who consa. And I make a chance and the bonny be a way. Sana black man yet you. Obia ko problem. A friend yet you are here, baby. The problem that person is oh, wait, a super be a way, and a neck when your son's in Sansuan. Black man, Mumma Yem Brandy and Kamum. Near was a CSA, we are proud to be Africans. What did we know about Africa? And why we don't feel pain for some people who are in the same that depths?
So, during that time, the Africans were fighting to liberate themselves from the European colonization, essentially the French. So France would repeatedly use these ex-foreign legionnaires to carry out coups against elected presidents. So, this guy here, and I know the picture's really small and not very clear. This is David Dacko. So on the 1st of January 1966, an ex-French foreign legionnaire carried out a coup against David Dacko, and he was the first president of the Central African Republic. Yeah? These, I'm just going to list the coups that have happened. So on January 1966, this guy was a victim of these coups. Also by French, and this is also led by the French. This is Maurice Yamiogo. So on the 3rd of January 1966, the first president of the Republic of the Upper Volta, which is now called Burkina Faso. He was also a victim of a coup.
So they
carried out by an ex-French. I have the French legionnaires' names, but I refuse to mention them. The ex-French legionnaire.
He said, David Dacko.
Well, you
he
can
was
know
a
by the
Ghanaian.
name. The
Yes, the name even shows that he's a Ghanaian.
Yes.
Nehwene na sokora kyerɛ sɛ ɔyɛ Ghanani. Nehwene na nokora kyerɛ sɛ ɔyɛ Ghanani. So wahu. Enye izo Africa. Africa nsɛm wɔ hɔ papa. Africa mo unite. Africa, the unity need to come. Africa, we need to come together and feel the pain for anybody. Or be feeling the same pain for everybody. ha se kom de wonua na wo bi na ba mani bi adia mani bindi so wo se wonua da abonten na wo ba bi na furu so men dwene se obeba ba ye obone. So what you say? The moment I want boss any pan when you need so him. Na also obi your bon obi your papa men for bonny anything Enchianica. Africa, your pesadiano is a timer. Is ye decolonizing your brain no ya dreamer ye kitano. Is ye then ye free a trip. A possible brony develop so many things in this world, but we the blacks are still remain where we are. Yet we still crying for some supreme that from heaven to come and rescue us. Why people are killing our leaders? People are killing the people who have a brain to help the nation. But people are why black people? Why? My brother Frank Akwaba Paminia Yafio Papa. So just continue. We go.
So in 72, President Hubert Maga, the first president of the Republic of Benin, had a coup carried out against him by his own security guard.
So all this coup, who organized this thing?
The French.
So the French people, what the French people have done is because now they come and colonize you. So they give you some bond or whatever things that you need to pay for. But when somebody come out and refuse to do that, na French na omo national team be before na abo asa cap ama omo. That means it's not only Africa they slaving us. Marcel Desailly were French or ye Ghanaian. Marcel Desailly French captain were ye Ghanaian. Huh? Which said the of one more and you woman yina pop se pop one woman yina Africa for ye see a kaima woman ye ma woman crew ye give gold medals ma woman even upon the country the suffering of our back home no still ye say yes uncle asumwe as I the ma woman yet still it's not enough. So what the French people do is say woman na wo ba na wo ye wa adwen say wo ba be Kenyan sasem wo ba be sesa oman na France for na omo ti omo Paris ho no na omo asa organizing crofo no ye ba bi kum. So crofo bebra omo sori ye Thomas Sankara onu ankasa danfo ne ma ni kum. Thomas Sankara onu ankasa danfo ene ye ma ni kum. Obi a one ne nam koba ene kum Thomas Sankara. Oba ya santoa.
So if you want we talk so during the last 50 years 6 countries in Africa.
They will do that. They will cut. I said they will cut at this topic. They will cut us.
They come again, right?
Yes, okay. that is why they don't want. You see what they have started now? They will cut us. I know they will cut us because they don't want this thing to come out. And it's in English, so definitely you know. Yeah. They will cut us.
So during the last 50 years, a total of 67 coups happened in 26 countries in Africa. 16 of those countries are French ex-colonies, which means that 61% of the coups happened in Francophone Africa.
That means all the countries that speak French.
Yes. So France is quite desperate but active to keep a strong hold on their colonies, whatever the cost, no matter what. Now we talked about. I just mentioned the 67 coups, 26 countries, but
67 coups.
There was almost another one.
So okay, if we can take like 67 coups that happened in how many countries?
In 26 countries, and 16 of those are French ex-colonies.
Oh my God!
So that it totals to 61% of the coups happening in the Francophone Africa. So what one of the little known ones which was brought to my attention by that the doctor that's been sacked from the African Union. AU
or whatever.
So 25 years ago there was a group of young white rich kids enjoying themselves in Cape Town. They found out that there was oil in Equatorial Guinea.
So no, I want you to get here a bit for me.
Yes.
You said it was in where? What from Cape Town?
They were rich white kids.
Okay,
rich
kids.
White kids.
Yes, the rich white kids
well,
in
well,
South Africa.
We say kids, but men. So it was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So, so 25 years. So a bunch of rich white people, kids, men, whatever, were enjoying themselves in Cape Town, and they found out that there was oil in Equatorial Guinea.
I will stop. Nelson Mandela. Nobody can tell me Nelson Mandela help Africa. Nelson Mandela wambua Africa. Nelson Mandela didn't help Africans. That is why white people are praising him. Idi Amin is the devil in Africa. Gaddafi is the devil of Africa. Thomas Sankara is the devil of Africa. And yet, Libya president Gaddafi is the devil of Africa. Why they still praising Nelson Mandela? You can go to all the.
You're shaking her left and right.
No, she want to.
She is.
Yeah. Well, libraries around the Europe. You can find Nelson Mandela history. You can read Nelson Mandela. Why the white people are embracing Nelson Mandela? Because Nelson Mandela give them what they need. People are talking about Mugabe. They're trying to say many things about Mugabe because he didn't accept what they want. So Obaya Santua, you go on. Yes.
So they were enjoying themselves in
obviously or salute you.
Medasi, thank you. And so they find out that there's oil in Equatorial Guinea, right? So they set out to plan a coup, right?
So when the white guys in South Africa playing, and they find out that there's oil in sorry, I know. This is unless you start school before we can be free. When they see that they...
Mr. Hansen, yes, I was actually getting there. Thank you. And they were rich white kids, and he kind of just spoiled the end of my story.
No, that's fine.
You killed my punchline.
Yeah, that is good. That means he's a Pan-African.
Yes.
That means he do research. Understand? Hey,
so
that's
in order
good.
to create, they wanted to start a coup in Equatorial Guinea with the hopes that it would create a civil war. So while the Equatorial Guineans are fighting amongst themselves in the civil war, they would steal the oil. So they take a plane that was to stop in Zimbabwe where they were going to gather extra weapons and whatnot. But it's gone from my head. What's his name?
Mugabe.
Thank you very much. Mugabe gets wind of it because he too is also traveling, not yet the president.
So even that time, Mugabe was just a normal person.
No, he would have been somewhere in the office.
Yes, somebody in the office. But
he finds out about it and thinks, no, these guys aren't going hunting in Equatorial Guinea. Does a little bit more research and discovers that this is actually a planned coup.
Yeah.
So he allows them to land in Zimbabwe, and then he allows them to gather the weapons. They load the weapons onto the aircraft, at which point they are stopped and arrested. And as Mr. Hansen has already pointed out, yes, that was Margaret Thatcher's son, Mark Thatcher. So upon hearing this news, Miss Thatcher, who was the Prime Minister of the UK, she flies there instantly, millions of dollars to bail this guy out. This guy now has a night ship. He's now called Sir Mark Thatcher. Right? So paid millions of dollars to have this guy bailed out and
so when they arrest this guy,
well, she was the Prime Minister of the UK.
Oh, okay.
So they're rich.
Yeah, so you can't do,
Yeah, so they she flies him out, and it was only, this happened 25 years ago, but it was only in the last 6 to 7 years that the last person in that group of people that were to plan that coup got to actually leave Zimbabwe after being arrested. Yeah.
Asemu. So you can see why Africa, we are still the same. They are still on us. They not leave us alone. So if me and you, if we don't have that unity, can you imagine? Now when war come to Africa, Ghana, did we have ambulance? Even did we have some? Did we have even ammo car? Did we have even this weapons now? This big bombs. Ghana, we don't have some. So if we don't come as a unity, if we don't come as a unite, we are not unite, and we still thinking somebody's problem is not my problem. How can we solve and fight with these people? Because each and every day they keep on developing new weapons in their countries. So only thing that we can use for Africa to be unite, so that we can also have a way to get our Africa back. Not me and you, because that time maybe we are not still here. But unity can make Africa who we want to be.
So what Nancy also has said here, I was just about to touch on that also. So what you see now is you don't see the coup so much. They now what they call that is instability, right?
Yeah.
So we call these the coups.
Okay,
stopped.
so the coup was too much deep.
But now what we have now, they call that instability, and that instability is caused by outside forces. But they are using the Africans as instruments for self-destruction.
So they're using
They are causing, we've touched on this so many times with the white man coming in and causing instability within the country. The black man takes that on upon himself, and they are essentially using you guys as instruments for self-destruction. You get me?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Yes.
So now the enemies are sitting up there. They are sitting up there. Our enemies, they are up there and sending the message to our own brothers.
And it's the stories that you guys are being told of what is happening. It's just shining back. It's not the actual story of what's happening when it comes to these instances of instability. It's not what you guys are being told. You guys are being fed stuff so that you guys can be used as instruments for self-destruction. We're lazy. We don't want to come in there and do the job. You guys are doing the job for us perfectly fine. But we don't need to come in there just yet. We'll come in when you guys are finished killing yourselves and destroying your continent.
Very sad. Mummy share video no mami pamcho aja. Ye nipa 18 pe enso minim say bi mo tete akira o mo hwe. Na senya adwenbone a ye ka black man mentality na. Ade a ebeye na ye nyina ye timidi ya support ama Africa ababe Africa biemu. Enka boni be ne wom. Enso wonua bibini no wo se wonte se dogo bi ye den enu abe. Chese onu nyame aye na dom obo ade aye na dom wo woni kakra wasi ni fie ni bank kakra dem etu ofiri se onu adidi ame no de ekom de obi a emfa no ho ofiri se o wono okita American visa wono ye American citizen wono ye Europe citizen wo ye Asia citizen, so he doesn't care about the problem that his continent is facing, and that is what is killing blacks. We need to know that visa, that passport, it can take from you every single seconds. Every single seconds, this passport can take from you. You can be deported to your country. And where will you go? You will go back to Africa. Africa is where? You will go back to Ghana. Ghana no ewo hefa. Ghana is in Africa. And when Ghana is suffering, Africa is suffering. They don't want the truth to come out. If the white people want to destroy Ghana within 30 seconds, they can. Because we have some people that they can give money for our own people, then they will kill us. And they will kill us. Jealousy pa ni me pa cho bi nua no waka no. Jealousy pa because unua no ya mani sika ena wono no enam se wo wa akoma boni na wo sun ye ni sun wo mani hunu nye na mani hunu wo hawo nye ne hawo no wo mfa ho obeje sika no no oba bi ku. Africa, if we want to say I'm proud, you can stand in front of a white woman, in front of a white people. Now, what can I say? I'm proud to be African. What did you know about Africa? What have you learned about Africa? Africa that we see need to be united. Africa, we need to be united. Black people, I will keep on saying this. We should love ourselves. Me, if you tell me you hate me, I will come to your house. The food that you cook, I will eat. If you sack me, I won't go. Still I'm back. Because I love you, me a black. Now I see you like so we need to have that unity among ourselves. Black people, why all this thing is going in Africa? All what is going on in Africa is caused by our own people. France for a building of France in United Blacks. France, without Africa, France country will be it will be broke. Without the continent of Africa, without the Francophone countries, would you will be 45% of his country's salary? Now Togo Sikasen Wamuo.
Don't overthink it once. But what you say is actually on point for the next thing, because in March 2008, the former French president Jacques Chirac actually said, without Africa, yes, without Africa, France will slide down into the rank of a third world country, third world power.
So that is what he's saying.
Yes.
And that one, without Africa, France krone that one, say Africans. France.
Now that was 2008. But his predecessor, Francois Mitterrand, already prophesied in 1957.
No, wait here. You said at year for prophesize. Why is he a sopho?
No, he's a person who could see what was happening and what was going to come.
No, but it's a sopho for prophesize.
It's a different type of prophecy. Chirac, she's asleep. If she wakes up, she's on you. Chirac's predecessor, Francois, already prophesied in 1957, right? That without Africa, France will have no history in the 21st century. That was said in 1957. And then reiterated again in 2008 by Jacques Chirac saying, without Africa, France will be a third world.
But Africans are in France, that they are in a suffering position. I have a lot of people who are in France. They are suffering even to get a document.
Yes.
But why even you taking this? You don't say, okay, Sebi, you guys to just come and do something. Upon all what France, so because France, they don't have anything. France have zero. France doesn't have anything. Without Africa, France cannot. All the European countries, what did they have? They don't have anything. They all benefit from Africa. And what they do in Africa is, when they come, they use me and you. Me and you. They use us and make the operation. That is all Bayas and Tueka said. Even when the white people want to come back to Africa again, we the blacks, we have already done the job. We have done the job for the white people to come and wipe us off.
That's
blacks.
It. Oh, yeah, you see, we're waiting for you guys to finish yourselves, to wipe yourselves out. There's already how many bases from how many different countries, military bases sitting within Africa. I told you the next world war is in Africa, and it's all of the countries outside of Africa coming in to fight for the natural resources that are in Africa. So the next world war will be in Africa. There was some 36 US bases alone, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, 36.
Not to mention all the other countries. So that's all we're waiting for you people to kill yourself, and you're doing a mighty fine job. You're doing a really good job. Really.
Yeah.
Mr. Hanson, she is asleep. Birthday boy is here. Happy birthday, Mr. Collins.
Happy birthday, Mr. Collins.
So, at this very moment, there are 14 African countries are obliged by France through a colonial pact to put, now listen, 85% of their foreign reserve into the France Central Bank under French Minister of Finance control.
Again,
okay.
Repeat here and slow
14 African countries.
14 African countries
are obliged. Obligated. They must.
Yeah, they must. Yes,
obliged by France through that colonial continuation pact. Yes, to put 85% of their foreign reserve into the France Central Bank, controlled by the French Minister of Finance.
So up to now,
14 African countries still have to pay. Still have to pay. Up to now, 14 African countries still have to pay colonial debt to France. The African leaders who refuse are killed or victim of a coup. Those who obey are supported and rewarded by lavish lifestyle, while their people endure extreme poverty and desperation. So if I can touch on that, or you wanted to say something?
Yeah, so that means up to now, this century that year one, before, hey, degree, you, for when you check, me, my university of one, why, me, study with UK, me, American, whatever. Me go school, I have master degree. I have Ronaldo degree. Messi degree. Any David Beckham degree. Zinedine Zidane degree. Any na yekita the Africa for. Yes, yekita. And so still, we don't know what we can do to take ourselves from these colonials. And aside that, we are still paying this kind of percentage as a country. Now, this country that we are paying that money, Africa country, Africa na ye won. And sika dodo se Ghana sika dodo se ne ye won ye se tuama obi. Togo unhu Togo mobo. Togo ye da ho nti mrofo no munhu Togo mobo. France government. So you don't pity this country. You don't pity Benin. You don't pity Equatorial Guinea. You don't pity them. Senegal, pa, you need Senegal there. Eka, konjina hui. Neke, sana,
you mentioned Togo, Senegal, Mali, Benin, right? So if you think about this, and as you said, the France reward these leaders that obey their rules. With a lavish lifestyle. Okay. Now, not only that, some of them already have their own wealth. So what do they care about their country's wealth leaving? So I'll give you just a couple of examples. If you look at the Togo president, right?
Togo president. Now we are on Togo president.
Right. The Togo president, okay. Faure Eyadema, or
Medino.
Eyadema. We can turn the camera back. Wait. Did I get him? Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. So this gentleman,
this is Togo president.
The Togo president. This guy has a net worth of $4.5 billion.
Again,
$4.5 billion, mostly amassed illegally through the phosphate sector, which accounts for about 40% of their export revenue.
Wow!
Now that phosphate sector that equates for that 40% of revenue is solely controlled by it's not an outsider, so it's not like this is the phosphates and it is controlled by these groups. It is controlled by the presidency. He controls he controls every contract, every permit.
No, just talk.
Oh, then can you bring me some water? He controls all of the contracts and all of the permits that are needed to manage the sector, and these things are sold to profit this gentleman here. They are used and they are sold to profit the president, right?
So, this man that said in previous, any the way was sitting away, he the old city, Nessika crack away, Kita walk crack the wind is gonna coin. Yeah, cratching. So, we share papa we ye with dinner we. Now, we sika crack away, Kita, papa would decide to go away. Again, why? Now, when it may be before, the problems of blacks, when we get the money, then we go and save it in abroad. When you get the money, then you go and save it in abroad. Mimi to krom how? Mimi to krom ha. And so mimi sika wo fie. Mi sika de fie. Mimi ye baby ya o man ni sika no. Ni e de akwa abrochire. Ni akwa yawu na sika na ka abrochire. Na se bi mpleduasa, bro. Yenya ye wo ha ya ye nyina ye sua ade. Me pa che wo adwuma a wo ye no wo abrochire. Se wonyini ya na wo ba bedru wo kwa retirement. Na se wo benya o 65 one why no wa do o retirement pay na. Se wo anye lucky abrofo bekum. The moment they know you are close to get your retirement, government in pese wo beba betena fie no watue sa sika na ma wo. Eti yade beto so. Sa yade no be yo no fin na udi ewu na wa sika no. Na wa sika no. So abrofo mpese no kora ebe dead. Nyamia oboa ya yetimi ye research, yetimi read, yetimi nim baabi e won. Togo president, see what problem Togolese are going through. You carry this kind of money. Now dear Yani say, when you try to against that, then the French, the Paris for no ma organize it near Babiku. Na bibini timi kuni nuyani ya mani sikane na niaje. Black man mumi you. Black man, are you happy for a white man sit in his country, then and send you, go and kill your brother so that I will give you money. Then you are happy to go and kill your brother so that the white man can give you money. So you think me and you here, what are we doing as a black people if we don't love ourselves, if we are not united? Are we happy to go and kill our own brother so that we can get paid? I'll be before mommy and sorry.
So the next one we have, this is the Senegal. The Senegal president, Macky Sall. So his net worth is 1.3 billion CFA francs. This guy also, at the time when he was also running to become president, he also had a personal relationship with the then president of France, Sarkozy.
Mm-hmm.
So not only does he have all of this money, but he also has a personal relationship, like a friendship, with the then president of France. Right.
So that way he would damage you. He would just kill the country because now you can do the job perfectly for them.
Yes.
So Senegal mu kita papa we o kita sika kakraka we. And Africa, just Africa ni Japadie nyina ya sa so ade a akoma eye emrofon.
So this okay. The next guy, you just flicked it off on me.
Yeah,
this is the president of Mali, Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta. He studied in France. He has a master's degree in history. He taught courses on third world politics. He is or was a technical consultant for the European Development Fund. So he played a part in putting together the first small-scale development program for the European Union's aid activities in Mali. So he is fully aware of the situation that is in Mali, to the extent that he was a part of putting together the package of aid from Europe to Mali. And yet he is still
corrupting the country.
Yes, and not pulling out of this continuation of colonization, but sending all that money.
So why the people cannot, why the leaders cannot like go out from this continuation of this
because they get too many kickbacks. They get a lavish lifestyle that you wouldn't otherwise get, or they will get killed if they don't. So why would you pull out when you're being, treated like a king and giving money and gifts and such a lavish lifestyle?
Oh, so we happy for
they're happy.
we like they happy for see the situation that the country are in. So black people, where are we going? See all this thing. So you are happy to get what you want, but rather let your brother be in woman abrewa. Like in those countries that you are talking about, poor.
Yes, except for the presidents.
Road poor, water, no water, school kids cannot have a school, we don't have good water to drink, we don't have healthcare center, we don't have anything. All the countries.
Well,
all the countries.
The current president of Benin, Patrice Talon, he has a personal net worth of $500 million US. The ex-president Yayi and his one of the other prime ministers, Sinzao, both have French citizenships and both now live in France. So they're not suffering from this.
That is the secret. You know what? It won't be surprised. All our president that promote Ghana, and yet surprise you, bro. They all have citizens. Woman ye UK for 7 previous. Akufo-Addo promise to say because you UK citizen. All the leaders, our kings, our kings, yes.
What's that over there?
Oh yeah, I'll come. No. All our kings, the king. Babe, you said what?
What do you want?
Oh yeah, him for bebree. The citizens of UK. Bra, what we came no crema American. Our kings, what hini? Yes, I'm quartina konya so fie. Na wo hwe man ko man ni tibi pull etu mpon wo hene an wo kotifie na ka yesa wo kasa na bibia etimi ye de eti no ma tutum wo hene an ka yesa wo tena fie no ko hyemra wo UK citizen wo hene UK citizen asante hene ba Ghana baba ya asante hene wo UK citizen wo citizen of European countries, our passport, they all have passport. Our leaders, our presidents, our ministers, our ministers, they are both, they hold the Ghana passport, but they have British passport, they have American passport, they have UK passport. They are all a citizen of a white man country, a white man land. Because somebody who has studied, like, okay, let's take somebody like, okay, Manoda from, sorry, like, Sebio, Obiti said, Nana Kufuado. Nana Kufuado called the Suku in our UK. Only UK. Why any BBA or UK? Now, one actually you can do somebody or say, only UK passport. Huh? So all these people, they have their own citizen, they are not, they represent as a leaders of Africa, but they are not Africans. Their heart is white. Aboriginal, they will have a chroma say, and tuntum for Hannah. First, a brofun by and Mobechi Qualano, or Mobechi, a tuntum for Qualano, or Mohanina, and Momutu or Muko, Eco See, not the Omuya or Mone say, what my training Qualana, or Muya tuntum, or my Gini Fita. It is also most of the slave trade, of course, man. What you must say, ya chichiri obi abodiem ni asade eye black man na gina ho sa onhwe ne so tio which slave trade e course bebre na a black man, huh? We have tied, a white man have tied a black man and told his own black man to take care of, to look after him so that he won't run away. But Oyetuntum, you think say Oyetuntum? No, he's a black, but the brain have been trained to be a white. So no matter what, he doesn't care about the black, only some black pains, no. Only some black pains, no. It is most of our leaders, our Mugu Africa, most of our leaders in Africa, they have two passports. They have two passports. Most of our kings, our Mugu Africa, they have two passports. Most of our MPs, huh? Can you say Canada, Japan, any American passport and no UK passport? Ubetima catch say Canada, Japan, any American passport and no UK passport. They are a citizens of foreign land. It's Africa. Mummy and Kay Timu. They intimate to us. Now, you're some and you know me. When you put that order, Obayas and talking Canyon Bourbon.
So, what I'll do is I'll move on to those 11 conditions of that, the continuation of colonization pact.
Sorry, I know you know, but the voice will be a bit.
So the first condition, colonial debt for the benefits of France colonization. So much like the second country, I think it was Togo, who had to pay 40%.
40%. So Togo was to pay 40%, right?
Yes. In order to get out of the pact.
Get out from there.
But the first condition of this pact is the newly independent countries should pay for the infrastructure built by France in the country during colonization. Now, no matter how much research I did, I was unable to find out those exact. That's an incredibly well hidden. That number, yes, yeah, that number is incredibly well.
They won't let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So number 2, the automatic confiscation of national reserves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The African countries should deposit their national monetary reserves into France Central Bank.
Mm-hmm.
Yes? France has been holding the national reserves of 14 African countries since 1961.
France is a evil. The country France, among the Africa evils, they are the vampires of Africa. France of war. France. The country France, they are the vampires of Africa. What France have done to the countries, some of the countries or the continent of Africa is not easy. But Nininan blame no menu. Australia ha no me Australia ha you need you anybody are not or you dual citizen. Okay? You penny phone ni na you dual citizens. Akufo-Addo you dual citizen. Mahama you dual citizen. Canada, Japan mu you dual citizens. All the ministers they are dual citizens. Omo ye Ghana for, SA ye UK for, omo ye Ghana for, SA ye America for, omo ye Ghana for, omo sa ye Argentina for. So ahemfo mo Ghana. And now we betime akonwa so ba ko mienu na wakotena UK. na obi a wo nka wo kɔ abrochiri a yɛ ma 3 months visa otimi kɔkɔ de no 2 years no ma Ghana da ɔhene otimi kɔ tena abrochiri 2 years no ma Ghana da but na konwa si Ghana na wo kɔ abrochiri akɔdi wo pa no wonya nkrata sa wonya wo sa wote wo wotimi ba abontimpo but because of say they are all dual citizens. Australia has say when you are a dual citizen, if you are like because Australia have most UK for London for because omuna eba hanom ebe fa kron London for British for na bebre no dual citizens wo citizen of UK and osaye Australia ni wonim die si empinifu akuku dama kese ye yi wo nyina di wadwum ya saka wo nyina from parliament. That is how the law is working. Obi timeti Ghana also me kwa America ichina. So what I say, all the people who are dual citizens in Australia parliament, they all have been sacked. Easy anodin pa anodin. So mummy yi ni ntimi no doye ho because ye be ye we ya be den yetima aboa ma yekro eye Ghana akoso ye betima ye den na ma Africa continent na yiyi se ye mienu ni yanka ye ho amboma enam so betimi ohene betimi dwane yakọ eye UK ntino ohene no onfa ho ne de na kura ase ye so mbenya nsuo anom so munya nsuo nom onfa ho because ono betimi akwa aburuchiri no akotena ho oba ya santoa I know you know few so we will cut the video very soon. Yeah.
You can't. I'm only up to number 2. So what they want is of that 85%, they want 65% of its foreign exchange reserves in an operations account, which is held at the French Treasury, and another 20% to cover their financial liabilities. It's already their own money, and you're forcing them to give it to them. So you're now also charging a 20% for financial liberties, right?
So even the money that they have saved in France, the bank in France.
Now that's also saying something because they're holding basically in 2 accounts that are African in name, but they have no affiliations to Africa. It's in French and it's in France, and it is controlled by the French Treasury. Now the French, the whole idea is that they should be able to access some of that money, and they're saying that they're putting it to the Africa. Those 14 is that they are investing it. So if you invest something, you expect to get something in return for that, right? But the problem with that is those people, and I'll get it. I've got this guy's photo. The person that is at the very, very top of this treasury. If you want to flip it for me, there. This guy is the one who controls it. This is the top of the top. This guy. His name is Jérôme Fournel. He's the Director General of the Public Finances, and that controls the French Treasury. Now, there is only a handful of people that work within that French Treasury that have any kind of idea of the revenue that is being raised or from the investments of the African money. And they are forbidden to tell Africa how much money they make. This man alone could call those 14 countries, the leader of those 14 African countries, and tell them exactly how much of their money is there.
But they won't.
They keep over $500 billion a year from Africa. Over 57 years, it equates to $29 trillion.
What kind of Africa are we? So these people are still on our hand. Mm-hmm. They will not leave us alone. What did these people want from us? Mm-hmm. Please.
So these investments are supposed to earn money, and that money that the investments that the French people said they're investing the Africans' money. And what you get from those investments is supposed to go into the pool of African money. But that is being controlled by that man there.
So this man sitting down with his goggles like you are controlling the money of our African money. How can Africa? How can Africa?
Now, he is the head, and there is also a select group of others that are also up there in that finance sector that also know it, and they are by law forbidden. They are not allowed to tell Africa how much money is being made and what is there. Do you understand that?
So
So that means they have stolen the money.
Money from us.
You will never know how much money is being made. Maybe they invested $100 million and you earned $300 million. They will not tell you how much. They will only what
with
you know
this
you put
century,
there.
like
Yes, this guy now. He is the head now. He is the head of it now. So how it also works, okay? So France allows. Now you hear that word. France allows. You probably can flip it back if you like.
Yeah, I don't know if the phone will go off or not because I see the.
That's why we'll just try and move through it a bit quickly.
Yeah.
France, you hear me? Allows. This is African money. And France.
Let me address this so that you can go. Kwaku Ade. Was say. Let me read his comment. I was say. Your woman really loves you, my brother. My woman doesn't.
Most of the time.
Yeah. My woman doesn't support me. Whenever I raise issue concerning Africa and the Western countries, all because she white. Bro, this is a very big topic that you have said. That is very, 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 very big topic. And yet easy. Unless you get somebody who have Africa in her. Unless you get a white husband who have Africa in him. If not, no white man will tell you the secret of Africa. No white. Obawe, even this woman, she get messages from the white people. This woman said that she get messages from the white people telling her she don't need to tell some stuff. Why they have blocked our page? Why they have mute our viewers? It's not easy. So we should sometimes appreciate her.
Thank you.
We should sometimes appreciate her for sitting here and tells a little bit that she knows about Africa. Nobody. As we are talking, how many blacks that have black? How many black men that they have a black woman beside them?
Thank you.
How many blacks? And we white. Because
The battery.
when you are going to say anything, they will say, oh, it's a problem of Africa. They will even rather put pressure on you, like you won't be happy. You can't even make a video. So it's not easy. Obaya Santuati, she have get many threatening messages from the whites. She don't need to tell some.
Continue.
Yeah, she don't have to tell some stuff. As all the time, Mr. Jekumu can. White man doesn't like us.
And you know what though? You know, I like it. The more they tell me not to do it, ask my dad. He will tell you from the time I was this baby's age. If you wanted Megan to do something, you should tell her, don't do it. So don't go and have a bath, and I will go. Don't brush your teeth. I will brush my teeth. So if you tell me, don't tell the secret to me, I will sit here and I will talk.
And yet easy.
Right.
So that's it. That's it, baby. And I appreciate a lot, babe. Yeah.
Me too. I appreciate you more. But
Say
if not
Japan.
you, I can't sit here and say anything. So France allows, so of this money that they are keeping, right? So France allow, I say that word again, allows. France allows the Africans to take some of their money. Geez, how very generous, right?
They allow us to take some of our money.
I allow you to use your salary that you kill yourself for, right?
Nah.
So, battery. France allows them to access only 15% of the money in any given year. 15%, okay. If they need more than that, then they have to borrow the extra money from their own 65% from the French Treasury at commercial rates. So that means you will now pay, what's that word? Interest. Oh my God, it's like my brain is
Really?
the thing you said, I've done something weird.
Mr. Jokuma Kwabo.
So,
Akwaba.
yeah, maybe connect it straight. This one, I noticed if we're using it and the battery is down, it won't charge. So, babe.
Yeah.
You're pointing it at my boobs.
Oh, yeah, there are people. No,
No,
she
I'm not,
agreed
we are not
with
discussing my boobs today. Stop. Leave
Kwasi
my
Bekwai-
boobs alone.
Kwasi Bekwai,
I
you
will
say
go
that.
and I will have a reduction and they will no longer be there.
Oh, don't do that.
Then stop. Leave my boobs alone.
Yeah, don't do that.
To you and your daughter.
Oh, don't
leave
do that.
me.
Don't do that. I'm still a baby, you know that.
Gee, you don't have to tell me twice.
Yeah, I'm still
So
a baby.
can you stop? If they need more than that, then they have to borrow the extra money.
No,
I'm talking about something serious.
every man is a baby. Every man is a baby. Every man still drink on what feeling bottle or what?
I'm not listening to
Oh,
you.
every man is a baby. I'm still a baby. So
I'm
please don't go and let
stab you
them.
with
No,
this
let me
pen.
tell you. This is me too. That is my important thing. Let me also say. Me too. I'm still a baby. Sister Faustina, I'm still a baby. I haven't stopped yet.
Oh my God!
Hey, Maminka, I didn't make time, Maminka.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
You correct?
Yes, I'm correct.
You'll go hungry today, huh?
No, don't do that, please.
Ah,
I would
Jesus.
rather you hit my head than you make me go hungry. Yes, you hit my head, and I will take that one. At least I will put plaster on my head. Okay.
I'll put plaster on something else soon. Jesus. You done?
Yes, I'm done.
Sure.
Yeah, but don't bring that one. That one, the please.
You're
If
clearly
not,
not done.
we would.
Just sit here and wait for
If
people to
not,
stop
then we will
discussing
divert
my
the topic. At here for then we will divert the topic.
Oh, that's no problem. The battery will go flat.
Yeah,
Nobody can
yeah,
talk about my
yeah.
boobs.
Yeah.
So if they need more than that, they have to borrow the extra money from their own 65% from the French Treasury at commercial rates. So, sorry. So that's not even like you and me, we go to the bank and we borrow money and we get a small interest rate. We're talking about commercial interest rates. That's phenomenally high. So not only are they only allowing you to take 15% of your own money, then if you need more than that 15%, they will charge you interest to take your own money. That's like you put your money in the bank, you save and save and save,
So-
and then you want to take some and they will charge you.
So now
That means you have to pay it back.
the money that the
Your
African,
money. Yes.
money that we saving, and they say, oh, if you want that your money, then you have to pay interest.
Yes.
Uh,
And now to top it off, to make things worse, so I said you're allowed to take 15%, right? If you want any
No,
more...
15% is not enough.
No, so if you want more, you have to borrow it.
Oh,
from
really?
your own money. However, it gets worse. They have a cap, and the cap is fixed at 20% of their public revenue, right? In the preceding year. So if the countries need to borrow more, then now this one too is kissing them. They need to borrow more than
Nash,
20%.
be careful.
Stop that. They need to borrow more than 20% of their own money. France has a veto. So you are not allowed, I am not entertaining any of you.
Well,
France
they,
is not
they
allowed.
want to divert the topic, but I won't. We will do Obadana next time, okay? Obadana next
You
time.
will do it by yourself.
We do
You best go
Obadana.
and buy some fake ones and sit here and play with those.
No, that one is not original. I mean, I don't like fake
Oh,
fish.
shit.
Yes.
So France has a veto. Basically, you can't borrow more than 20% of your own money. There's a no, right? So on to number 3, because we're just going to skip right along now.
Yeah.
Right of refusal on any raw or natural resource discovered in the country. Okay. So France has the first right to buy any natural resources found in the land of its ex-colonies. That is first. That means if Togo finds gold, it's for the French before it's even for the Togo. And only after it's only after France would say, I'm not interested in this, that particular nation then has the option of selling it to.
So unless okay, if like Togo have the gold, when they have the gold, unless
France gets the first right.
France people have to say, okay,
We don't want it.
don't want it before you
Togo
can make
can
a choice
keep
for
or sell it.
to another
Yes.
person. So that means the root they are still on the colonial.
Yes.
Like they are still in it.
Now it gets better. Number 4, priority to French interests and companies in public procurement and public bidding. Okay. So in the award of government contracts, French. So you know a government contract to build, right?
Yeah, to build
or
stuff.
mining, whatever. In the award of government contracts, French companies must be considered first, and only after that, these countries could look elsewhere. It doesn't matter if the African countries can obtain a better value from elsewhere. So say they want to build a gold mine, and France get first dibs. Even if Australia is prepared to pay $1 billion more, it still goes to France before it can go to another country.
Oh my God.
As consequence, in many of the French colonies, all of the major economical assets, you're going to love this, of the countries are in the hand of the French expatriates. In the Ivory Coast, for example, French companies, listen, French companies own and control all of the major utilities: water, electricity, telephone, transport, ports, and major banks. So not only does that 85% of the country's money go to France, the banks that are there in Ivory Coast are all owned and run by the French. So that means the Ivory Coast money, 100% of the country's money is in
France, in Paris.
Yes. No, I mean,
We will say in
it's
Paris.
controlled.
Yeah.
So exactly.
So see all this kind of problem, Sister Faustina. How can we do to go out from these rules? How can we do?
You need unity.
Huh? Just
You
only
need to have
unity.
And the problem is, because it gets worse as you go down, and you will understand why. So basically, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is that the French companies get the right of all businesses and all contracts and all government contracts first before any other country in the world, including the country's own country or own people. They control the banks, the major utilities. This is in the Ivory Coast: water, electricity, telephone, transport, ports, all of those things. So essentially, Africans, particularly in those 14 countries, Africans live on a continent owned by France, by the Europeans. Because everything there is controlled, and France get the first rights on everything.
So in this kind of situation, see the suffering. You can go to these pictures.
Yeah, baby.
The suffering of our people, the suffering of Africa. The leaders don't see all this thing. They don't feel that pains. They don't know the pains that our people are facing is also causing the damage of their families. So they don't see. Look at what we are facing in Africa. Look at what we are facing.
I'll flick through them. So, no, other way. Yeah. Okay, can you hold it there for me, babe?
Still, but look at what we are facing in Africa. My brother, my sister, please. This is what we are going through in Africa. Are we humans? Look at the water that people are drinking in Ivory Coast. They are almost 100% of their money. Look at the problems. See what the kids need to do before they can feed themselves. And all these things.
Faustina, that's exactly correct. This is why they got rid of that UN lady.
Yes. So, it's mommy and Kano crew. Mommy and Kano crew.
I'll click again.
Mommy and Kano crew. See the suffering of Africa. My brothers, my sisters. Why should we hate ourselves?
This is Guinea-Bissau.
This is Guinea-Bissau. And their leaders are owning billions of dollars.
Now, we were just talking, so this one is Togo.
Why? See the Togo. See the country Togo. See the problem. You can see the same thing in Ghana.
Mali.
This is Mali. This is Mali. Why Africa? Why, my brothers and sisters? Why? Why are we in this situation? Are we poor? No. We are rich. We are the richest people in this planet. Africa is the richest continent. Why we have to face this? Why? The unity. We should love ourselves. We should build that thing. We should make ourselves to be we are somebody. We can't be in the situation anymore. There's no healthcare there. There's no any private you see, they don't even have a public toilet. See where people go before they can eat. See where people sleep. Africans, if we are not even strong, I don't think nobody can leave the continent of Africa who is poor can survive for even 1 week.
All right.
Yeah.
So we'll now get to there. Now there's 11. So we're at number 5.
Mr. Nyako.
Yeah, Mr. Hansen, just let me get through it because I'm more than happy to stop talking. So exclusive number 5, exclusive right to supply. Listen, to supply military equipment and train the country military officers. Okay. So through a sophisticated scheme of scholarships, grants, and defence agreements attached to the colonial pact, those 14 African countries, the Africans should send their senior military officers for training in France. This is the rules.
So this
is
is
part
the
of that thing.
rules.
Yes.
That
This is number 5.
order. So every course is part of it.
All the 5
Togo,
are part of it.
one.
Right? So the Africans should send their senior military officers for training in France or French-run training facilities. The situation on the continent now is that France has trained hundreds, even thousands of traders, and they nourish them. So they are dormant. So when they're not needed and activated, and then they're activated when needed for a coup or any other purpose. Do you get me? So your military must be trained by France. So that's when you get traders. So they will come in and they will train them to be for France. But they will sit there in Africa dormant until such time as that somebody wants to pull out from this agreement, and then they will use that trained soldier to go and assassinate that president of the country that wants to pull.
Okay, now I get it.
Yes.
That means they will train the soldiers. You are not to train the soldiers. They have to train by the French.
Yes.
Which is
They're
French.
the leader.
And more for French for.
So they either have to go to France or they have to go to one of the military
bases in that country.
French military bases.
French military bases. And when the president or a leader who comes and he wants to just divert and don't want to fulfill what the French, a young Morofo Krom France, Paris, Mamenka Paris, near difference. Now Paris form, if they don't want her, now most soldiers for now you're training woman near Menekum. Near Menekum. Aden. Eti ye training and ye say Queen. So this is the deal. Oh, what eti so look at what happened in Togo when they were doing Wamunya sa and Tokobi Togo Nami. Soldier 40 make chini platform. Hey, meet me and then me who and for you to be what Facebook went my head. A soldier for na omo chini pa bibini omo chini nam from your etina ko se wura mu omukum. Because of say idea right to be where your political ni or ba be kan okore enti nokore oba be kan tini asa soma ye huni yesa kokuni pakro. Africa.
So, number 6, right? So this is also a follow-on from the military stuff, right? So, number 6, the right for France to pre-deploy troops and intervene military in the country to defend its interests. Now, it's not to defend the country, it's to defend French interests within that country. So,
Okay.
what is that? What did she get into? Oh, I don't even want to know. Under something called defense agreements attached to the Colonial Continuation Pact, France has the... Oh, she's got that. No, they need to go and grab it. It's that pain away spray. Under something called the defense agreements attached to the Colonial Pact, France has the legal right to intervene militarily in the African countries and also to station troops permanently in bases and military facilities in those countries run entirely by the French and French military bases in Africa. So when President Laurent Gbagbo of Ivory Coast tried to end the French exploitation of the country, France organised a coup. During the long process to oust Gbagbo, French tanks, helicopters, gunships, special forces intervened directly in the conflict, fired on civilians and killed many. This is all because the president of Ivory Coast tried to end the French exploitation in the country of the Ivory Coast, right? So to add insult to injury, France estimated...
France is vampires. France, France is the killer of France. The country France. Hey, France is wicked country.
Just listen to this. So to add insult to injury, after this happened, and they fired on innocent people and all that stuff because the president of the Ivory Coast wanted out. So to add insult to injury, France estimated that the French business community had lost several millions of dollars when, in the rush to leave Abidjan, in
Abidjan, yeah.
in 2006, the French army massacred 65 unarmed citizens and wounded 1,200 others.
Wow.
After France succeeded the coup and transferred power to Alassane Ouattara,
Yeah, Alassane Ouattara.
France then requested the Ouattara government to pay compensation to the French businesses in the Ivory Coast,
Which has been collapsed.
which had maybe
Do
were
some-
affected.
yeah,
maybe they
affected.
lost money, they lost
So
business or
they
whatever.
have to pay for it. Well, my question
Wait. Let me finish. Pay compensation to the French business community for those losses during that civil war. Indeed, the Ouattara government paid them twice what they said they had lost.
and what
So they're saying, like, France said, right, we lost $300 million, and this guy gave them $600 million.
Africa.
Uh-huh.
Because he gave them because he don't care. And Mr. Paul and Seka said, the bad soldiers, yes, they are bad soldiers. Bad soldiers. They are not like soldiers in Australia. They are not soldiers in Europe. They are not soldiers like America. The soldiers in Africa is trained to kill ourselves. The soldiers
in
in
these
Africa,
particular 14.
Ghana soldiers, even all the soldiers that have been trained in Africa have trained to protect white people, defend white people, defend our corrupt leaders, defend only somebody who has filled the money, and then akoya what did the amount for esikaya onyam fa ma wa mu wonam a the soldier for tatanity. We only the bad people that soldiers armies protect them in Africa. Why say Ekroma? Why you can see everywhere soldiers? Huh? Since I came to Australia, I haven't met any soldier in the street. I haven't seen it. When the minister is passing, you see maybe two motor, one motor. Car become a woo. When the prime minister in Australia is coming, you don't even see it. You don't know even if it's a prime minister. They don't give a block line for anybody.
No, they go running and jogging first thing in the morning, and they don't
They
have
can.
cavalry.
Number one, me that's it. Number one. Now what yes, what bon crofo po, what jim crofo sika, what young crofo nyaka dear, a soldier for the one who buy. So Ghana and not African, akoko ye bibi to say, those who are damaging the country, the soldiers have been trained to protect those who are damaged, who are corrupting the citizens.
Number 7. You touched on this one before with the English being left over from the colonizers in Ghana. So part of this agreement, number 7, is an obligation to make French the official language of the country and the language for education. Now, the sad thing is, I'm just going to divert, is what we see in, and I know we said this is not about Ghana, it's about Africa, but what we see in Ghana and maybe some other countries, like Ghana in particular, there is no rule. There is no written rule. Ghana hasn't signed an agreement, and still they're forcing English down the throats of the children. But
We are part of it.
But this one here is an obligation. So they actually signed an agreement. Right. So I'm going to try this, okay? But I don't know how I'll go. So obligation to make French the official language of the country, and the language for education. And I think maybe you will have a better luck at this. So, vous devez parler français, la langue de Molière. A French language and culture dissemination organization has been created called Francophonie, with several satellites and affiliated organizations supervised by the French Minister of Foreign Affairs.
What said, there be a case, Africa, we should go back to our culture. Africa, we should go back to our language. We should speak our language. Africa, we should speak our language. Ghana, I'm telling you, I said, will you try? Go deep because it's not easy. It's a hidden story. It's a hidden
It's a hidden agenda.
Yes, agenda. So if you go try and search why Ghana we still speaking the English, why the English have to be our language. We can't say no. We can't go back. Why our leaders? The leaders can say no. Now we need to teach Chi. The leaders who are prepared to die for Africa. The leader who is prepared to die for his country, to die for his country, he can change it. But anybody who will change that thing, that person will be gone. So Ghana, we will still speak English every day. Ghana eh free say ye colonization no and say ye kan ko asom no ho. Ghana omo free say Ghana no ye Ghanaians why say obi o kan fanti obi wo kan fanti obi kan asante obi kan dabumba obi kan frafra obi kan zima obi kan ayidagati sani pano wonye adwuma nye. You can't get a job to do. Why the English? You go every job, they say if you can't speak English, every leader come is promoting the English. We should build in schools, we should this, we should that. What about Ghana, what about Ghana president, Waka said, Mumian can you kuro mukasa? Because ye can't, and yet British for the colonization, British for the buy one more come, Sakasano Mudijai. English, you know, so English cannot go from Africa. French, they can. All the French language.
My colors.
All the French countries.
You can use it, baby girl. You can use it. It's fine.
Huh?
So number 8.
We have head without the brain. And Ukraine will come. Remember?
Number 8. The obligation to use France colonial money, FCFA.
Safer.
FCFA, French colonial francs.
That is why they make it.
So that's the real milk cow for France. But it's an evil system that's it's even been denounced by the European Union. But France is not ready to move from the colonial system, which puts about $500 billion from Africa to its treasury every year. And that's for over the past 58 years, which equates to about $29 trillion.
That they're taking from Africa.
And not giving back.
And not giving back.
So during the introduction...
What did they do for us?
They didn't do anything. During the introduction of euro currency in Europe, other European countries discovered the French exploitation scheme, right? So many, especially the Nordic countries, were appalled and suggested France get rid of the system, but they're unsuccessful. So you have France doing this. The European Union says it's evil and they should get out of it. A whole bunch of other European countries discovered the French exploitation scheme. So they are aware of it. They disagree with it. They want France to stop. France refuses, and the rest of the world still does nothing.
So, but if it was Africa,
if it
was Africa, they should have sent their people. Yeah. They should have sent our own people. Then we start killing us. We will kill ourselves for the whites. No. Why should you jealous your own brother?
Wow.
Why? Huh? We may be misunderstanding. Huh? We may misunderstanding. We may disagree. We may not do things right. But that doesn't make you to hate me to the extent you can even rather kill me. You can even rather let me to die. No matter what.
Now here's the killer, right? Here's a kicker. Number 9. Obligation to send France an annual balance and reserve report. Without the report, there is no money. So anyway, the Secretary of the Central Banks of the ex-colonies and the Secretary of the biannual meeting of the Ministers of Finance of the ex-colonies is carried out by France Central Bank Treasury. So even those 15% or 20% that you're allowed to borrow, even whatever money they say, oh, this is what you earned, here it is, unless every single one of those 14 countries submits an annual balance and reserve report to France, they get nothing.
The country France, my brother can say Pepra Aquaba. Say Africa Krone Wohono. Minim ye leaders now Motimuno. They are the people that they are killing us because hey, they don't care. They don't care. Huh? Rwanda president, I take it this biggest move, our force. Before start to work, I say, one more year bonnet. The country Africa, the continent Africa, you can't come in, you can't be a leader and just come say, oh, what bread, oh, media, you have to kill. Before you can survive Africa, blood need to flow. If you fear to die, Africa will not. I don't care me, I will die for Africa. My ancestors died, what did they get? When they dragged them from the ocean, they do a far pronoso, and do go to America. As I do a what thanks? We are even giving the thanks to the Almighty Jesus Christ. Have we thanked our ancestors for the suffering and the care, the pains that they go through? This is the Pan-Africanism. So what was Africa, Gina? Africa, it need to be the revolution in Africa. A lot of blood will flow, but that is what Africa can need to be Africa. If we are not in, they can mention our name. If we are not in, because the leaders are corrupt. The leaders, Akufo-Addo or another passport. Akufo-Addo or another passport, or either say UK passport or American passport. And yes, our mayor president in Tio, yes, I see on Timmy Kobano, Derby, he said, half, or you half nipa half bosom. Aha, Wokita passport to a Buchile, Wokita Binsu or Ghana. So all those people, they are not hoping for they don't have the care, they don't have the pain for black people.
So number 10, the renunciation to enter into military alliance with any other country unless authorized by France. Did you get that?
You say?
Renunciation to enter into military alliance with any other country unless authorized by France. So if you can't join another country as an alliance, a military alliance, unless France says yes. So African countries in general are the ones with less regional military alliances.
Oh.
Most of the countries have only military alliances with their ex-colonizers. Right? Funny, but you can't do better, right? In the case of France ex-colonies, France forbid them to seek other military alliance except the one it offered them. So Togo, Ivory Coast, Benin, Equatorial Guinea, all of these countries are not allowed to have a military alliance with anybody else other than France, unless France gives them permission.
Na sebio adeɛ bi wɔ hɔ a wodwen ho a wonte ase o dabi adeɛ bi wɔ hɔ a wodwen ho na sebi yɛ kora yɛ te wɔ sesi yi obi hyehyɛ saa amena wei ma wa na then why should these francophone countries, why should they have leaders? Well, they should let France run the country because they are running it.
Yes, and there's a reason, there's a purpose for it, okay? Because number 11 is the obligation to ally with France in situations of war or global crisis, right? So if we look at the World War, the Germans, the Nazis, Hitler, over 1 million African soldiers fought for the defeat of Nazism and fascism during the Second World War, right? Their contribution is often ignored or minimized. But when you think that it took only 6 weeks for Germany to defeat France, 6 weeks. It took 6 weeks for Germany to defeat France in 1940. So France knows that Africans could be useful for fighting the La Grandeur de la France in the future.
Yes.
So this is almost verging on psychopathic in relation of France with Africa. So France is severely addicted to looting and the exploitation of Africa since the time of slavery. Then there is this complete lack of creativity and imagination of French elite to think beyond the past and tradition. So finally, France has 2 institutions which are completely frozen in the past, inhabited by paranoid and psychopaths, right? They spread fear of apocalypse if France would change, and whose ideological reference still comes from the 19th century Romanticism. That they are the Minister of Finance and Budget of France, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs of France. So these 2 institutions are not only a threat to Africa, but to the French themselves. Right? So this is the number 11. So what it boils down to when you hear all of this stuff is that France are essentially using Africa to stabilize and keep their own country. Without it, if a war comes, France is fucked. Without it, without African money, France's economy collapses. So what it comes down to is, at the end of the day, it is up to Africans to free yourselves without asking permission. Because up to date, I still can't understand, for example, how 450 French soldiers in the Ivory Coast could possibly control a population of 20 million people. There are 450 French soldiers in the Ivory Coast controlling 20 million Ivory Coastians. How is that even possible? It is up to Africa. That Africa has to stand up and remove themselves from this shit without asking permission. They don't need to go. You're not 3 years old. Africa, you're not 3 years old. You don't need to go to your ex-colonizers and ask permission to have your own military or to have an alliance with your next door neighbors. A border that was put in there by the white man to start with. This shit has gone beyond. It just like makes my head want to explode. There is absolutely no reason why any African nation should have to ask permission from a pre-colonizer to do anything. Stop sending the money and France will collapse. They won't be able to pay their military. They're not coming to kill anybody because they just don't have the manpower without Africa. That's it. It is up to Africans to free themselves without asking permission. Think of those numbers. 450 French soldiers are controlling 20 million people in Ivory Coast. So seriously? Yeah, wow.
Ask him.
And that's all I have. So can I stop talking?
Yeah,
I'm really
yeah.
suffering.
Ask him. Minua, I will come here with you. Me pukra de messia film. Before I was like, I do a bit about reading and this and that, but manko emusa, but how? Huh? Only how many soldiers and you do mogu Africos? I will more control 20 million of Ivorian Africos of war. Huh? Now, Mr. Nyako, Africa Quran, your weapon.
Well, the weapons too. That one is also part of the agreement, and I don't know if I read it or I skipped it or I'm just sick and can't
Which
remember.
African country can tell me that he have weapons?
Well,
maybe some.
Those 14 countries are obliged, if they want military weapons, they are obliged to purchase them from France. They're not allowed to have anything from anywhere else. I can't.
And I said, Africa, we need to unite. Africa, we should stop hating each other. We should stop. What will you get if I go and gossip you to Sister Faustina, and Sister Faustina be happy for you, and I get hurt? Africa, when you go, Nancy, say, if I come and gossip somebody to you, then you get the profit. Now, what abu why ya dear pa name enipa na me be gossipo na asem eti ho di areho edie na me menya. We should try to stop getting fame for ourselves. We should stop. We should stop to get fame. Oh, make oka na manya ni monyam na wonua de ne ho akere. Before, what would you get? Sometimes I may say something, I may say it wrongly.
But wrongly.
Yes. Mekano wrong be.
Wrongly. You're making up English words.
Yes.
Here.
I can say it and I will say it wrongly. But when you hate me, what you have to do is, oh brother, you say, ti ukro hoi encouragina. Ena achi mienu ene namo. Eti what you will do, Abu, oh my brother, you say something, you do this, and next time do it in that way. It's beautiful. A lot of people have come and insult us. I go to their inbox. Hello, brother. How are you? I'm fine. Can you get a time so that we can talk? Oh, sure. Then I talk to the person and he become my friend. So I'm sorry if I say something like that. Sorry, we are family. This is what we need to do. This is what we need to get the unity. We don't have to just hate ourselves. What is going on in Africa? Did you think, say, if we don't have that unity, can we do something? Can we win? Minya, Obama won't follow. But she do this research and she want to address it so that we, the black people, if we are ready to listen, if we are ready to learn, if we are ready to take the advice and bring that unity among us, I think we can move forward. If you come, just make it a point. Then somebody come, then we go. Because phone no, you're turning to say, camera no, BBC, Emma, more share no. Etimesro, so phone it to say ya. What you will send a friend request now. Not what for no attend the phone. Say ya will be to me I joining program me patcho. It's phone no men yen say. Aha, say be I say be I'll be to my then. Baso.
There's nothing.
Yes, Nash. Yen say I don't any you know to what percent of Obaso Kasaka cram. Oh, it's dirty. Na why then what send the request na ya kakra bi na ya kona oba no so atimi agina home. Yes, me nua ba ko kan was say I enye easy. My wife don't support me because when I'm talking about these issues, especially talking about Africa, me catch lot of people and crofo mu inbox me. Ewo omo ankasa inbox me, they are all with white women. Huh? They are all with white women. But even they are making a video, even listening to us is a problem. It's a problem. You can't get it. Everybody can tell me this true. Huh? Mr. Your phone na also
You do know that you said that I don't support you, right? Did you know that that's what you said?
No, I talk about the guy who, the guy who, yes. Oh, and easy. So being a white woman and a white man. Now what can correct and the actual because on fahu, Ukron be ya on fahu, Ukron be on fahu. Because the more we are learning, the more enlightened. So if we call ourselves, we are now Pan-Africanism there. Mama yen sorry. Yen no ya home. Please, yen no ya home. Me, Sister Faustina, so catch them so nima ya kakra. Me go.
Hey, sir.
Minuya, akwaba na
Yeah, mo.
kakra na yenko. Medasi.
Asana ene obaya de buy, you know. Sometimes no ye paying for no. I'm say omo call office one. People know information is already there, but instead of taking time to read those information, no, now omo the omo say oh you hear hospitals and you hear rules, no, and you know they don't follow what is actually there. I'll be reading this information was already there, and you know any elect president to be our no. Agreement is there. So why your maybe finance minister is paying this to maybe the French government? And I say, why this person is getting this money? We need to ask questions. But I quite say in returns, you know, the Range Rover and those cars, you know, into the pushy the politicians and Louis Vuitton. Some of the information no the free other francophone countries, you know, among physical money. They only receive like a gift. One of the presidents, you know, now almost an access, you know. I'm say Liberian president.
And some face.
Yeah,
almost an access, you know. Oh yeah, not a like lottery year, not buy like shoes and clothes. It's not a year so beneficial to us. And the only way Memphis say this issue can stop is when the Chinese government gets into Africa. Because China invested something. Chinese are not people say Memphis say, oh, we're investing in Africa. So he will sit down for all his profit or revenue to go to France. That's not going to happen.
Yes, no.
Because the Chinese need their money back. So in that case, they're going to fight with the French government. International Africa and they're standby referee to watch what will be going on. Because if Chinese government builds schools and road and everything for the Africans, they are expecting the Africans to pay them back. Oh, until by paying them back, and now more 15% of your revenue to that's not going to help. Maybe the agreement will be 20 years, and then you're going to take like 25 or 50 years to pay. There will be an issue. But our leaders need to read and understand. Say, Massa, you can't any foreign aid, anything. Now you started ground zero, like a newborn baby. Also, but as you growing up, then you try to build up something on your own. So right now, you're going to say all big bargain. Until you guys have no money, you starting ground zero. Say to say independent French government. Right now, no say French, no more can say 400 soldiers. First of all the technology, who WhatsApp and how you use Facebook. French government is listening. You're using their language, so they know what is going on in the country. If say, they know what you're doing.
They know.
So we start doing anything, say Africans, you say, men are made me resources. Manton, everybody in the world knows that Africa, we are already poor. We are starving. We are hungry. So if I don't export, what I'll do, may export. So here, cocoa, I'll leave it in Ghana or I'll leave it in Ivory Coast. You are the one that needs it. And if I don't sell it to you, you can't get the revenue. So what maybe an asset. It is a manton so your income not develop it. So in that case, then they will start coming back. And right now, your computer world is say if French government and I say any European countries, they will do something to the African continent now. These other parties like Russia bet me I fight for Ghanaians and now for any African country. If France try to do something, and into more use our own people to fight against us, because Russia but they are not going to help us. All these big countries, they know what is going on in Africa. Unless say we the citizens, we need to stand up before any foreign aid. Gaddafi, right? Gaddafi started. He knew all this. That's why he started his that monetary omuku no. And yes, be omunim story no omunim. By the end of the day, we need to hide our own information. And yes, BBBA say we are planning to do this. We are planning to do this. And say hide it. And that little amount now, that 15% now, free francophone French, they are still using that money wisely. You bet me I developing more than what you're doing. Even outside Africa, your mentality say, you're here no much until we know how to survive in poverty. Until that even that 15% we are getting from France, we can still invest in that money and make the continent great. By the end of the day, if any person that will be elected as president, they need to sit down and review all this history. And now foreign, this is the type of information we need to be taught in school. Because I then 80% of my revenue have to go to somebody else that is not doing anything. It is if we are taught in school, then we can fight. So right now, the main fan say Akufo-Addo or school, and sometimes the information coming out, former president Mugabe. We didn't understand Mugabe.
Yes.
Who say no buy kind be na me can say Mugabe na yeah. Why was he sitting down? Now playing for South Africa. No can say you can stop in Uganda. Yeah, what are these weapons for? That was the reason why I love Mugabe. He said, what is these missiles for? They told him they were for hunting. No, now say hunting there, you don't need AK-47.
Kind of.
Yeah, you don't need that kind. And he waited for them to depart. That's when he arrested them. The whole world went against Mugabe. Nobody understood what he did. But Wamba Bontiambe explained, he said, this was what was going on. And sometimes the information that is coming out, unless I will answer, yeah, Lisa, can't. Lisa,
I want to do it. Someone so also,
say hi. Oh, and yes, and say yeah, train not media no, yeah, more. Sometimes sometimes it's so bad. Oh, Mugabe stood up for Africans because you can't use that kind of weapon to hunt. Oh, and then big institutions, sometimes yeah, you information do yeah, the African na yeah kasa no kra no yeah Jimmy say yanji and this say we are not I said you will because if you cut down all this foreign aid, I know sir we can do it because
yes.
And now corner when you be next time no yeah at the forefront that mentality no in the previous you're not going to use the same mindset. You have to change it. Oh, but I think say what the only way able to benefit Africans is when the Chinese come in because China for no invest here.
Now bro, who's one Jim say Cecia yeah kwakoye to say yeah adwuma no. Eti me fan say Chinese for na woman so ba be invest as said ya wo kan ye na say Cecia no woman so no sa percentage ni be ko France for no. Cecia den tokwa be no. They den tokwa no ba. No say na woman be sa upload to your be sa training yen na oni asa kunkum ye.
Dabio tio who say Abu me boss say we project for Ghana. Right, so who your project to Ghana? Not say a Chinese person and a more investment to say fire project now. Sometimes won't now say Ghana and do sika because of who the China ninika. So what I say, yes, you show them the document say you in a member say medio moka. Into revenue now, Australia. That is what you don't want to happen. Into Obaka say. This is what I'm paying to French government. And I have nothing. I'm ready to pay you, but this is what I'm paying. Do that document, the Chinese government. Then the Chinese will go against the French. Say that is nonsense. So, if you build road and also you show them how to use fork and knife, doesn't mean say you have to pay them. So what I say? Yeah. Say French, what they did in U.S. Accra. They build up a statue for them, Statue of Liberty, and U.S. government, because they united and then they fought against the French government. They knew what went wrong. Listen, Miano, why? Can I say you know what can hide? Why? Who say united? Then the French government knows what they are doing is wrong. Until say be and so me my infrastructure amount. Na me hwe na me nya bauxite na me nya me money back. I don't think say French government better now say China media Africa so what I say you know the point I'm coming from because the Chinese government is already investing and it's a huge amount, so they are not going to sit down for French government to still take the resources. Yes, they need their money back, they need the investment back. Yes, so that would be fight against China and then the Europeans because Africa a tire and a nimto and a giant bow and arrow. That's the only way we can use the weapon and voodoo. That one we can do it, but it comes to weaponry in India, we don't. So what's the media and I say, and that's the only way I'm gonna say. Chinese started coming Africa, who said Europeans were panicking because they know what is going to happen. Yeah. Unless almost say Chinese almost pour concrete to the sewage that I don't think say Chinese are meant for business. Well, and sometimes we need to educate ourselves. So Akon started solar panel businesses. US government didn't help him. Omunim said you will enlighten Africa. And solar panels or China and Akoji, that you know what the Chinese government did for him? On credit for 7 years. On finance development or Africa 7 years without paying any interest. We came or more 5 years. We came 7 years. So now he started paying them back. Oh, but Chinese need the amount for business. Now you know paying for no mudi and no. I think so. Almost co school now. Almost mindset in India say, oh, Range Rover, any mansion. That's all they think about. But Fire West, no, inside a kind of Fire West. What's time contract now? Now what I see, no. That Fire West, no. That's where everything falls under. Because mobile for their money, they don't read the big ones now. More they highlights, no. The Omachron kitchen now, yeah, fine, no. A year you be read, you know. That's where everything. And you know, sometimes, you know, yeah, I'm paying for no. I'm more read here. I'm more head the Fire West, no. And so I won't agree to any agreement unless you pay for you make keep BBB to ourselves, and then we can start developing. Other than that, the African there is and this history is there. This information was there already. You're finding out. One time Rollins asked the same question, but you said or send a book. He has to go back to UK for approval. He didn't understand it. But we said Rollins, you know, the education is low. So he didn't go through and ask questions. Oh, sometimes, you know, oh, yeah, passport, Ghanaian passport, they have to send it to UK for approval. Why? Oh, but any explorer, question, say, why are we still doing this? But always being that, oh, white man is so powerful. No. And you know, we have to be like, okay, so we know here labor, no, until we lean back. We lean back. That's the only way African is going to develop. Other than that, you're forgetting that you're transit like airport. You'll be about no transit to Africa. No. Other than that, there's two ways we can develop or we can go. But now from here, and now Obama so hard. And you know who your program Obaya here or Baba. What didn't come and say.
Grandpa Chobem Yakasasi would Braba would me who me debian be some papa said, no cry where ye then would me Charlie, and you do back open, bro. My pom.
We need one more baby, okay? Because Nancy is disturbing you a lot. If you want to continue this video show, you need another baby so they can play together when you're doing the live video.
I have enough for fighting with my daughter because time over here.
The fight is not over until it's over.
Now I'm wiping her. Me wiping on kakran. I want to have it alone. I'm a jealous man. I want to have it alone.
Okay.
What do you waka? You have talked everything very beautiful, nice. Then you want to add another baby, bro? Yeah, on and in number. Debbie. Me Rebecca home. Timisrawa, me da was a contribution on so the idea. What the aban, me da was a be Sana, ye, Moma Yenina, Yankika, Trimum, Nayen dear. So sometimes we have, you know, what I have seen from us is like, one say, all the time, you know, we can't just be argued like, hey, and the way now, you say, and the way now, you say, and you say, I one way now, you say, Ghana, and there be. And no, a whole. If we are not like forced to learn the histories and know how the countries, our continent is now going in Norma Sana, we will still arguing every day, fighting each other. Because we wait no about the canasem. We know what Dabi. This is a time. We don't have that kind of that ideal crop for this time. You need no time. Now the time now you get us to see and say, we have to unite. The unity Mumma yam force no yam unity ni nyeden engina. Atiefo medamas. Oba ya santoa. All the time no, I said thank you.
Yes.
Because I know it's not easy for in terms of messages and all the things. Obaya Santua, she sorry. No. She doesn't care, like she doesn't care about say they will arrest her, they will come and question her, they will do whatever, they will do this, they will do that. They keep on sending the messages and this. The truth need to come out. But the truth will come out from who? This truth, it will come out from who? Those who we want the truth to, those who are holding our neck. Those people that we are expecting them to come and tell us the truth. No. It's a time. Menu mienu. Yebe kai tire boom. Yebe nante te say. Eye nuafo. Na wonua ye bone. Wonua kasa no wankasa yie. Wonua beka asem bi na ankwa odabre. Wonua beka asem bi ankwa o favor. Eye abotre. Eye nchirechiremu. Yemfa odo. No matter woye asantini, woye krobo, woye hwan, woye say. Ye tuntum. Ye baako. Ye nyina ye baako. Eti mum yemfa odo. Odo mum yemfa odo nyeden enante. The unity can make Africa great again. And we are adofo. Me besi ya ko ba no ho fa no papa. But minim say eye nyame boa ebi e china ye besa ahia. Abuturika nesi one oba ya asantoa ye da wase. Na mesa ka kire mo say mamu remfi say CSF no de ye nya kase ye bema Satan have repent no eno de enjai abuturika un say ene no my nice na toda wo honom na me koko no paya na ya me keka nsem but sanity you can be hot, you can be cold. CSF still now ongoing, still now echo. CSF no still now echo. CSF we need to come together. CSF we need to walk as a tree. Mamenka semitrem. Edua. Ekrompo esi ho amana haban nyina pro agufom. Se dua no wasenya rechichire wonya arehemu se afi bi beba ama ensuo atoaguso ama na saafefe ahabaamo minua motivation encouragement eno any unity any betima ma the level that ye pese ye kon ye bede ye bedru abu osi
yes, tomorrow he will be on that one.
Tomorrow I will be on the solar. The solar is still going. The solar panels. All the
and me too. I will come and will be commenting about your koto, saying as you like to talk about my boobs. So you better be ready for that one.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Why that one too is have to be issue?
Why this one have to be? So if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. So
what ya wonya ko de midawa be kan semwa minya kama the plaster tawa no. So it is CSF mesrem mumien donate mumien.
Thank you, Mr. Handsome.
CSF mumien. So wa moa ye bere ne yakoenim se sie mienu ne ye John me ne mienu ne ye yeso yakonya ye etimu se sie se ye moa eti CSF mumien moa why yesrem mumien moa me my budget ama me ho me my budget ama me ho na me start very soon me the CSF file e be come so me budget ho se grocery shop me ko na me ton toast makoni dey ya ese me hu se ese me dey $1 bi ye dey esie baabi se ya metimi di aboa na me da che ma me mana wo mo beba no me man me ban kra wo yese me mana wo beba no mabusia na wo mo beba no na omo nso wonya so mfa so because I know I will go, but I want to go with a good name. I want to go and leave something behind so that my future generation, my future generation, they can benefit something for it. So, we say something about CSF.
Oh, you said it all already.
Okay. So, you better must CSF all the way. CSF until Satan say hallelujah. Enti
Please don't ever do that again. That was the most ridiculous thing I
really?
think I've ever heard come from. Hallelujah.
Oh, really?
What are you? Jesus Christ.
so it's not good, right?
Oh my God, you might as well come out and say, you know what it sounds like? Sound like me. I'm outside on Christmas. Ho, 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 to
Oh,
pretend to be
really?
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
That's what you sound like.
Yes, but Jesus Christ is coming soon.
Yeah, but Santa Claus comes every Christmas.
The Santa Claus said Christmas is coming.
Yes.
Yeah. What it? Etino, mumma ye nyina yenye den, yen kɔ yanim na yen fight na yen movement nye den. Engina. Eye akyina kwasie, mun join na abutreka na yen sua de e wo solar panels no na yen promote no na enkoso. Na me ma ne nya nwanwa say abutreka nation, I can be the next icon in Africa. Solar panel.
My God.
Solar panel.
You don't have enough money to be Akon.
No, did Akon have money? He go and borrow in China.
Nobody in China is giving you money either.
So they won't give me.
No.
Why?
He's doing it for free. You're doing it to
No,
make money.
hey, I should do it for free. I want to build road for villages in Ghana. I want to build road for
Now
villages
you are
in Ghana.
Akon. Oh, good.
Yes,
Excellent.
I will be a next Akon.
Oh.
Yes, I promise, and my dream will come
dying.
true. This dream will come true. I want to sit here and work in this big company selling this kind of stuff that can support my people back home, and I will be like a blind man staying there, and I know the benefit from the white people who are using it. Here, the solar, yeah, you can say something about, because sometimes when you talk, people think, oh, this is that. This solar, when here, most of the houses are now putting solar up.
Yeah. In fact, I think the new builds, I think it's getting to a point where it might actually be compulsory.
To put it on your roof.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So government is doing something.
But we also have rebates. We have really, really big, very generous rebates from the government. So if you have a house and you don't have solar and you want solar, the government give you big chunks of money as a rebate. Like
Oh, right.
in order to do it. Yeah.
Not just say, I was a brony bear pan woman in crop for Muton in Africa. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yes, oh, Debbie. Oh, Debbie. Miniam, Medamasi, and Jedea, Etna, Yebesatia. Etna, Yebesatia. Poor care, old than what car or let a jamon. Etna, Yebesatia. Medamasi. Medamunina must assemble Bekai, and ma, Jumedino, IFFF. Africa, we need to unite. Africa, we need to love ourselves. Black man, I'm a black. You are a black. I'm from Africa. You are from Africa. Huh? Etienne no yeho. What? Seme kasai. Obaya santua kasai. Enebia. One can year. Yes, say. Ye nine. Yes, some go to you. Yensa. Ede yensa yem. Enti. Yes, rem. Namodi ache. Tikro hui. Enkwejina. Na de osi onim se. Huh? Wo twasa no onim se na chia eden. Atia. Enti ye nyina ye kasa. Etime kasa ye mfumso. Na momye no ye ho. Na yen kan ye humu eno na ebe boaye ama yetimi enya Africa back atiefo medamase eye sister Faustina obo ade on kan ho medawase bebre eye nana na sia mechia medawase se wo so was started from the start to the end obo ade enkan medawase bebre nana bekwen medawase bebre family ye nyina ye ho ye nana bekwen ani Mr. Nyako medawase bebre medawase Losty Aliman.
He said, I don't think the white people donate before it became like this.
Yeah. So I don't think the white people.
I don't think the white people donate before it became like this.
Yes, sir. So, brother, thank you. You too. Thank you very much. And more mabasu nyina medamase bebre me hu se enkrofo bebre nso aye den aba enchia enkoma all the CSF fofo Abraham Bemushe Kochi se to P Black one
Yahuda
obo ade enkam one time together we can make
Collins
it Mr. Collins
yes, the Bean Man,
yes, and
he will like it when he hears
the lady
he will come.
the CSF sister Nanakuya. What did you say about him?
Huh? No, that's a private conversation. I don't have to tell you what we gossiped
about.
Okay.
Sister Nanakuya me da se mu gossip me. When you buy ya santo am gossip me. Sister Nanakuya me da was. Sister Nanakuya me chiao bebre. Mr. Jokum me chiao, Mr. Collins me chiao pa sankofa. Baby a wo bia no me chiao ma feel half nipa half bosom me chia mo nyina me chia eye obi a wonya akwan e de behwe ye nso ende. Medamase na yebehia eye echina obo ade enkam obutreka nation. Bye.